Kane is in the building.
Welcome, you're tuned into this week's episode of the D&B Sports Corner. I'm Desmond D.K. Howard.
And I'm Bobby Rondil.
Alright, so now this week, what are we talking about, Bobby? We were talking about the NBA Finals, which just finished up with a 4-0 sweep by the Golden State Warriors over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. What are your takes on the series as a whole?
Well, the series, through the whole Cavaliers and Warriors finals has been taking place ever since 2015. Back-to-back matchup. This one was the most disappointing. Obviously, the first reason because it's being swept. But at least in 2015, when he didn't have Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, they actually had a defense, and LeBron took them 6 games, so it was entertaining to be able to see. Mm-hmm. But this one, with adding KD and just LeBron getting no help at all, this was really pretty much a wash. It wasn't entertaining at all to me.
You're right. It wasn't entertaining at all. And I honestly believe that it was after Game 1, how Game 1 ended, especially at the end of regulation, where they had that opportunity to win the game with a free throw by George Hill, which he missed, and then J.R. Smith getting a rebound 5 feet from the basket and opting not to put the shot back up, and instead dribbling out to near half court and then forcing the pass to the corner to George Hill, which got blocked, sending the game in overtime. It just seems like after the events that took place at the end of that game, it completely killed the energy, killed the drive for the team, and everything just went downhill after that.
And that's funny because a lot of people coming to this series, a lot of fans, everybody knew Golden State was going to win. But after Game 1, we was like, okay, this has a chance to be competitive, just like 2015, like I brought up earlier. But then obviously Game 2 came, and that's when Steph Curry got real hot and completely obliterated Cleveland, giving us what we expected. So Game 1, even though the way it ended was hilarious, basically hilarious and stupid, it gave us some optimism. But then it all came crashing down.
It looked good. It looked nice at the beginning, but after Game 2, everything just went. And then Game 3, Cleveland came out looked really good in Game 3 on their home court.
Yeah, in the first half.
And then they just fell apart after that third quarter, and Golden State got hot once again in the third quarter of another playoff game this season. And they just took over from there. And then Game 4, I didn't even get to really pay attention to Game 4. It was just ugly.
Game 3, first half, you thought Cleveland on their home court would finally come out. They played hard, and obviously, once again, it just went down. KD, he killed it, scoring 43 points, hit that 3 from the left wing like he did in last year's finals to clinch that win. And then Game 4, first half, once again, looked good. LeBron with the backboard alley-oop to himself, and it was all downhill from there. Warriors' talent was just too much.
All right, now, after the finals, KD now has 2 rings, 2 finals MVPs. Mm-hmm. But there's a question are these rings tainted? How the way he went about getting these rings by leaving OKC, go to Golden State, how does that affect his legacy, and how is that going to affect him in the long run?
In terms of just an investment as himself, obviously he cashed in. You know what I'm saying? He didn't sold out, he bought in. He has 2 back-to-back finals MVPs and 2 rings to show why that was a good decision. But when you look at it in terms of legacy, where does it place him among the greats, you can say those 2 championships comes with asterisks because he's joining a 73-win team that adds an MVP with already a stacked team. You can say when you compare him to the legends and compare him in terms of championships, which is an ultimate measuring stick we use, you can say that he's not going to quite measure up to the Kobe's, the Shaqs, and LeBrons and Jordans because of how he got those rings.
I don't want to take away from his championship and from his rings because at the end of the day, a ring is a ring. Yeah. However, I do not like how he went about it, leaving a team that while he was in OKC, he left that OKC team and went to a team that the Thunder had built, a little bit of a rivalry with, especially coming around the playoffs because those were at the time the 2 best teams in the West.
Yeah.
So the fact that he couldn't himself get past Golden State for him to turn and go join Golden State is just something that I didn't like. And I heard, you hear a lot of people saying, well, he's doing the same thing LeBron did, and I say no to that. Because what LeBron did was he went to a team, he created something with a different team, a team that he could have beat by himself at that, with that Miami Heat team before he and Bosh showed up, to help him get past the Celtics team that he struggled with when he was by himself in Cleveland. So I don't see it as being the same thing where Durant left the Thunder to go join the team that he couldn't beat. Basically, the idea of if you can't beat them, join them.
Basically, I think even though it's not what LeBron did per se, because obviously that Heat team wasn't as good as the Golden State team when he first lagged on. But what you can say is he took LeBron's blueprint and perfected it. And the reason I say is because obviously the Warriors are a better team. He won 2 rings out of it. Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, he won as many rings as LeBron won in Miami. So you can kind of say he's already perfecting it.
In half the time.
Half the time. So who knows what can happen in years to come with Golden State. But I'm cool with it because, like I was talking about this earlier, Oscar Robertson, he fought for free agency. He fought for players to be able to make their own decisions, be able to make things like this. Because at first in the NBA, you get into a contract, you get drafted by a team, you kind of stuck with them your whole career and you have no say. Unless you get traded or something like that. And that's completely at the discretion of the owner, whoever owns you. But they fought for that right. And so they fought for LeBron to be able to do this, for the KDs to be able to do this. But I think in the way, and I look at how the Celtics did Isaiah Thomas. Obviously traded him to Cleveland. Obviously when his sister died, he gave him their all. And at the end of the day, you got to remember it's a business. You may have ties to that city, but you got to remember it's a business. And I think when a team does it, executive does something, we don't care as much. But then when a player does it, we're so attached to that player that we're more mad at them. But now that I look at it, KD made a wonderful business decision, and he got 2 rings from it. So I applaud him on his decision. But like I said, compared to the legends, I don't know if he's going to stack up pretty well because of how he did it.
Well, on the flip side of the conversation with the finals, you go get Cleveland. This was loss number 6 in the finals for LeBron, and the second time that he's been swept in the finals in his career. So how does this loss in this series affect LeBron's overall legacy and the conversation with him being in the greatest of all time?
Like how you said, it's the second time him being swept. So if you go back to 2007, when people usually talk about LeBron's loss in the finals, they'll say before this one, they'll say he's 3-5 3-4 because that 2007 team didn't really count because they had no chance against San Antonio. Everybody knew that. Same time as this time, we knew they had no chance against the Warriors. So I really don't count these 2 losses against him because he gave it his all. He played all out. And in terms of the greatest of all time talk, I think that was finished back in the 2014 finals when he had a chance to 3-peat against San Antonio because that put another loss on his record. When you look at finals losses, Elgin Baylor never won finals. I think he's like 0-7. Then you have Jerry West, I forget his record, and LeBron's 3rd in terms of most losses by a player in finals. And so and comparing him to Jordan for the greatest of all time, I think that ship sailed and gone. But when you look at the next best player, I think he's the 2nd best player.
I'll say this. As far as his overall legacy, 6 losses in the finals, that's not going to affect where he stands as far as does he get into the Hall of Fame. No. LeBron's the first ballot Hall of Famer the day he decides to hang it up. I mean, he's been to 8 consecutive finals. So,
he's a dynasty himself.
Exactly. And this year alone, he averaged well over 30 points for the entire playoffs. So it was a historic playoff run in of its own. Just him for that. And he did have minimal help. There were times during the playoffs altogether, and then during the series where players like Kevin Love, you'd have players step up and do their part and everything like that. But for the most part, it was LeBron carrying that team, just like he did in 2007. So as I like LeBron, I really do. I've been a fan of LeBron for years. Even from back in his first stint with the Cavs, and I don't really like to hear this whole greatest of all time comparing him to Michael Jordan because they're 2 different. LeBron, Kobe, Jordan. They're the 3 greatest generational talents that we have seen to date. Now, as far as him being the greatest of all time, you're right. I say that conversation is over. I think he's out of that conversation. I think now we'll play the waiting game to see who steps into that spotlight next to try and challenge Jordan for the consensus as the greatest of all time. However, you'd be wrong to deny the fact that LeBron is an all-time great. He may not be the greatest of all time, but he is definitely an all-time great.
Definitely, he should be, no matter, he should definitely be top 5 on everybody's list, no matter how you're stacking with the greats.
At this point in time, I'll put him top 3.
Top 3?
He's in my top 3. And, because they're the 3 people that have been brought up in this conversation, my top 3, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. I believe that LeBron has surpassed Kobe.
Yeah, LeBron has surpassed Kobe. We talked about this because, even though Kobe has 5 rings, LeBron has 3. Like you say, 3 of those rings came with Shaq. Shaq was a lead dog in those early 2000s, and obviously 2009 and 2010. That's when Kobe kind of took over to get that monkey off of the back that he can't win with Shaq. But going back to what you said about the top 3 list of how you had LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan, I would actually put Kareem over Kobe and have that list pan out. But that's debatable. That's for another topic. But
let's talk about what's really on everybody's mind now that the finals are over. Free agency is coming up, and it's almost a consensus opinion that we all believe LeBron's leaving Cleveland.
Yeah.
So, the way I see it, LeBron has his pick of a good 28 teams in the league, because under no circumstance can he go to the Golden State Warriors. Otherwise, his legacy is trashed. People will see him just as a ring chaser, and he's trying to get more rings so he can be in that 4, 5, 6 category with Kobe, LeBron, with Kobe and Jordan. So he has his pick of about 28 teams. Now, narrowing it down, more realistically, the way I see it, I honestly would love to see him go to a team like Philly, because it's a young team. They're very, very talented, and I want to see what that combination of Ben Simmons, LeBron, Joel Embiid, and even Markelle Fultz. I'd love to see what that team could do, and I think that team could be a contender immediately. Just the facts of who LeBron is as a player, whatever team he decides to go to will be, in the talks of being a contender, regardless of where they were this past season.
As for me, LeBron has a big decision to make this summer. I mean, the only things I've been hearing, the only thing that keeps him in Cleveland is family. He's been pretty adamant about wanting to raise his kids in Cleveland. He also wanted his older son, Bronny, to go to his school, St. Mary Vincent, there. But obviously, if he goes back to Cleveland, there's not much you can do in terms of personnel moves to get out of the talent that he would like. But you brought up one, Philly. I like Philly. I like LA. I like Boston or San Antonio. The reason I say Philly, obviously, you got the 2 young guns of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. You can go there. The Lakers, if they can add Paul George, they have a young core already there. And Magic Johnson, just like Pat Riley, knows what it takes to win. So you have that guy in LeBron's corner to be able to get out what he wants. And also you got a good owner, Jimmy Butts, as well, who's willing to spend money. And then you have San Antonio. You obviously have Greg Popovich. I believe if LeBron goes to San Antonio, you know Kawhi is staying. So you have those 2 in the same. I think that challenges the Warriors right away with Greg Popovich. The Celtics. I know most people are like, you're crazy for thinking this, but the Celtics, they have Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, they have all these guys. They have multiple draft picks over the years. You already have Kyrie and Al Horford. You're going to get a healthy Gordon Hayward coming in. And you have a great coach in Brad Stevens and a top executive in Danny Ainge. So I think just like how KD went to Golden State, had a system already in place, you have a system in place in Boston. So if you put LeBron on Boston, that's a team. I think that's a team already talented in the Warriors, because there's some chinks in the armor with the Warriors. But I think if I'm LeBron, I'm going to San Antonio, teaming up with Greg Popovich, organization that's already there, and you get to team up with Kawhi Leonard, who arguably, when healthy, is a top 5 player in this game. So I would have found him to go to San Antonio.
All right, so to one final comment on the idea of LeBron going to Boston. I see there's no way he'll make that decision for 2 reasons, and that is almost his entire career in some form or another, LeBron has been a part of a rivalry with that Celtics team, with the Celtics. And you know, if he goes to Boston, then you know he runs the risk of everybody saying LeBron can't win without Kyrie, because now he's running back to Kyrie because he needs help to win, to beat the Warriors, because it seems like Kyrie has built a bit of a reputation this time with Cleveland and in those finals as being, or even during the regular season, he built a reputation as being a thorn in Golden State's side, and he's been able to be that dagger that, you know, just rips the heart out of the Warriors and out of Warriors fans time and time again. So I don't see him going to Boston because he doesn't want to seem as though he's running back to Kyrie and he needs Kyrie's help.
With the Boston thing, here's the thing. I'm getting tired of the part about him not wanting to partner up with Kyrie again. I understand, because Kyrie left for a reason. And obviously LeBron doesn't want to seem like, hey, I need you once again. But going back to the thing, which is why I'm kind of happy KD did the decision. Going back to legacy talks, I'm getting tired of people, if they do A, B, or C, that affects their legacy. I mean, even though NBA is a different job than most jobs, it's still a job. You see what I'm saying? So Virgil Abloh, I'm gonna use this as an example. Virgil Abloh, he created the Off-White Nikes. Obviously, everybody knows. Obviously, he's still a Nike. But he went from Nike, now he's a designer for Louis Vuitton. He lives with his family and friends, right? Let's just say he left Nike completely and went to Louis Vuitton. Even though it's not really legacy talks, right? It's still a better position. You see what I mean? So it's still a better opportunity for you out there. So for us as normal human beings, we're going out for better opportunities.
Why can't they?
Why can't they? If I'm working for ESPN, but CBS offers me more money, I'm going to CBS. And so at the end of the day, I know people be like, LeBron's been fighting Boston his whole life within the Eastern Conference. And you have the Celtics there, you can't mention the Celtic jersey. Hey, if that's the best position for me to take, I take it. And I don't care what anybody says. The only thing, if, like I said, KD, he won a championship to kind of close some mouths. So as long as you win a championship there, you close some mouths, I think you'll be fine.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us here at the D&B Sports Corner. Tune in next week as the draft's coming up in a couple weeks. So next week we'll have, you know, a bit of a mock draft, at least for the first round. A bit of a mock draft for you. I am Desmond D.K. Howard.
And I'm Bobby Rondil. We'll see you next time.